Welcome to the Tech Mechanic. Before we begin, this video is part of our Complete Solution Architecture Master Series. We've already covered topics like shopping app architecture, API gateway, and many more real-world architecture concepts. If you are new to the series, I strongly recommend watching the playlist from the beginning. Every lesson builds on the previous one, creating a structured roadmap to becoming a confident solution architect. With that said, let's dive into today's topic. Imagine you log into your banking app and discover that 50,000 rupees has been transferred from your account. The bank immediately tells you exactly who initiated the transaction, from which device, at what time, and from which IP address. How do they know all this? It's because every important action is recorded by a dedicated audit service. Today, we'll learn why every enterprise system needs one. Application logs are useful for debugging technical problems, but they don't answer business questions. Who updated a customer's address? Who approved a refund? Who changed product prices? Architects solve this by creating a separate audit service dedicated to tracking business actions. An audit service records every important business action performed by users or systems. Unlike application logs, audit records are permanent, searchable, and cannot be modified. They help organizations investigate issues, meet compliance requirements, and maintain trust. Let's return to our shopping app. A customer updates the delivery address before placing an order. The audit service records who made the change, when it happened, what the old address was, what the new address is, and which account performed the action. Even years later, the company can verify exactly what happened. A good audit record contains much more than the action itself. It records the user ID, timestamp, action performed, previous value, new value, IP address, device information, and sometimes even the reason for the change. This complete history helps during investigations and compliance audits. Imagine a customer reports an unauthorized money transfer. The audit service allows investigators to reconstruct the entire sequence of events. They can see who initiated the transfer, when it happened, the originating device, and whether authentication was successful. This information is essential for fraud detection and customer protection. Many industries are legally required to maintain audit trails. Healthcare organizations follow HIPAA, payment systems comply with PCI DSS, and companies operating in Europe follow GDPR. These regulations require organizations to maintain secure and reliable records of important business activities. Architects usually build the audit service as an independent microservice. Applications publish business events to an event bus like Kafka, and the audit service consumes these events to create audit records. This approach keeps the main application fast while ensuring every important event is safely recorded. Not every application requires an audit service. A personal blog may not need one. But for enterprise systems handling customer accounts, financial transactions, healthcare records, or sensitive information, an audit service is essential. Architects treat it as a core component of the system. Let's summarize. Application logs help developers troubleshoot technical issues, while an audit service records important business actions for security, compliance, and accountability. Every significant user action becomes a permanent record that cannot be ignored. Great architects don't just build systems, they ensure every critical action can be traced and verified. In our next video, we'll begin our Security for Architects module with authentication versus authorization, one of the most misunderstood topics in software architecture. Let's look at real-world case study. Imagine a worried customer calls your support line. They just noticed a massive, unauthorized money transfer from their savings account. As an engineer, where do you look first? How do you figure out what went wrong? Let's trace the timeline of this exact real-world incident using a properly designed audit service. Step 1. At 9:15 a.m., our system records a successful user login. Step 2. We see that the strict two-factor authentication succeeded using a valid one-time password. Step 3. Just 3 minutes later, at 9:18 a.m., the transfer request is officially approved. Now, if we only logged basic system events, everything would look perfectly normal. But a dedicated audit service captures deeper contextual metadata. Look at steps 4 and 5. The audit service flags that this request actually came from a completely new device. Even more revealing, the network IP address originated from a different city entirely. Because we captured these specific environmental details, our security team went from zero context to knowing exactly what happened within minutes. This wasn't a standard database hack, it was a credential hijacking or session takeover attack. Without an audit service, you are forced to rely on guesswork. You waste hours digging through messy application logs, guessing timestamps, and trying to reconstruct history from fragmented database records. With an audit service, every important action leaves an immutable, permanent trail. You protect your users, you save your team hours of stressful debugging, and you ensure your enterprise applications remain completely secure and compliant. In our next video, we'll begin our Security for Architects module with authentication versus authorization, one of the most misunderstood topics in software architecture.